Hello, welcome to the Textile Value Chain TVC Media channels. We are in a conversation with Ms. Roop Rashi Mahapatra. She's the CEO of KVIC. So today we ask something more about the textile and the KVIC program and everything. So, ma'am, how is your background? Your background is from finance, textile, so, what is your vision which shapes the modernizing Khadi at KVIC?
Thank you, Jigna. First of all, thank you for coming and asking these questions because as of now, I'm also fairly new with this amazing world of Khadi and village industries. As you know that I joined Textiles in 2020 and I come from Indian Audit and Accounts 94 batch, but thankfully Government of India has given me assignments wherein I worked with very specialty commodity like coffee. I worked as Secretary of Finance, Fiscal Reforms in Government of Karnataka, and I worked at very niche level of financial inclusion. Now, your question that how does my knowledge or my work in finance as well as textiles would enable me to deliver on the mandate for Khadi? I feel Khadi and village industry is genuinely inclusive and a micro industry. So when we talk of financial inclusion, all the reasons that all our players, all our manufacturers, or all our artisans, I prefer to call them artists, in the Khadi value chain should be considered as they should be supported with a lot of financial instruments so that they are able to develop their art into a sustainable enterprise. So these two things I feel will enable me, my knowledge of textiles, wherein I do thank the sector that I have reasonable knowledge on all the three primary value fibers which we use, that is cotton, silk, and wool. That will enable me to contribute to increasing the capacity of Khadi artisan, which is primarily two kinds. One is the spinner and weaver through Khadi institutions, and today add value to whatever we are doing today with the support of much deeper stakeholder interface.
Okay. So, what was your key lessons from the scaling the medical textile during the COVID, which are influencing Khadi's production today?
It's a very interesting thing, though, because personally I was slightly later in part of the team. But what showed Ministry of Textiles, or rather Ministry of Textiles, was able to show to rest of the world during 2020 was the synergy, the collaboration, the working together of government, field offices, our industry, banking system, and generate a industry of about 1 billion within 2 to 3 months. Now, that is where one realizes that it is, if one works with the collaboration across all the fibers or along the value chain, we should be able to increase total value returns for everybody. And I guess that confidence that sector is with you, if government is with the sector, is my guiding spirit to deliver even on Khadi, which I consider as the eldest sister in case of that various kind of textiles we have, because it not only gives you a hand spun cloth, even the thread is made by the affection of what we call almost 80% of them being women. So the warmth of the mother, the warmth of sister, which comes through Khadi as a micro enterprise to all our citizens, is something which needs to be packaged, promoted as the solution for sustainable enterprise and sustainable earth in the long run.
Okay. So, what is your top priority once you had taken the charge of KVIC as a CEO?
Oh, nice question, Jigna. Actually, my top priority would be how do I strengthen everybody? That means the contribute meaningfully to the policy in Delhi, uh, engage significantly with each stakeholder, whether it is at the spinning or the weaving level, or the artisan, or the KI, or the state government, or the state finance departments, my own state offices, how they need to engage with various kind of Khadi and village industry enterprises we are supporting across India. You would be glad to know that the kind of support which is rendered through KVIC as part of Ministry of MSME has generated a value of about 1,72,000 crore for Khadi and village industries. Now that's a whooping number considering people normally think this to be a very, very small micro enterprise. And that is where one looks at that when we look at a development paradigm, which doesn't entail only few leaders to lead, but actually looks at developing a very, very strong base by strengthening the micro and small enterprises which are at the base of our economy, creating surpluses for them, making them sustainable so that rest of the economy superstructure also becomes vibrant, sustainable, and contribute to overall all-round development of India.
Okay. So when we think of Khadi, we always think of the October month where the Gandhi Jayanti will come and sales starts of Khadi. But today the market, like you see, the Khadi is more of the heritage. Then the today market is shifting from more fast fashion, slow fashion, and the different mill sector is coming. So how do you ensure that the Khadi have their own heritage that sustain in the new environment and new the culture, the Gen Z culture also adopt the khadi. How do you ensure that?
Yeah, good question, Signa. Because see, one needs to realize we are a very, very big country, and when we look at big country and with very lot of pride, I say we have lot of heritage. Now, when you are a big country, you are a very big market with the kind of demographics we have. So I don't see a conflict between khadi, which represents my heritage, to something which is slightly cheaper but more affordable. I would rather like to quote here Honorable Prime Minister Sir when he says that Khadi for nation, Khadi for fashion, Khadi for transformation. Now, you understand it, it does not mean that you have to change all your wardrobe to Khadi, but you have to create a very niche space for Khadi because one, it is linked to my rural economy. So it sustains and supports. Secondly, the very fact, it's a magic that how a person develops a thread by hand and then it comes to you. You know, this kind of magic needs to be demystified to our new generation. Three, in general, khadi, because of the history, I would say, by the man of century of 20th, Mahatma Gandhi ji, it was at that time I would say that very powerful instrument to break free from colonial British Empire, which was resting on very, I would say, a kind of capitalism which was looking for markets. So what Gandhiji did was, instead of production for masses, we should have production by masses. And that is what actually hit at the base of the British colonialism in India, and thankfully we became a very, very independent state. Now let us say almost 100 years down the line, after Gandhiji gave us that confidence, we are on a totally different epoch, which is in this we have for last 11 years almost, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Sir, India is being looked up as Vishwa Guru. Why? Because we have our heritage, we have lot of knowledge, we have the capacity to do production in a way which is sustainable, production for self through small economy, smaller models, nearer to the villages, nearer to local resources. So whatever are the basic elements of sustainability, that is low use of resources, low energy, low water, largely natural dyes, and inclusive in terms of creating lot of job opportunities for people with differential skills nearer to their home. Now that kind of a thing can actually we already have it, we don't have to pull people back from too much of commercialization back to this, we already have it. It's just that we need to design it, package it, so that it can inspire the imagination of the new generation. New generation should not think it is just a thing of past. New generation should think it is the driver for the future. You would see, all of us see around us, people are coming back to a lot of naturopathy, people are coming back to organics, People are coming back to millets. So one should, and a lot of those activities are actually done on the VI segment of Khadi also, village industry. When I say VI, it is for village industry. Now, one should realize that if we have this kind of mm, rich heritage with us, Khadi represents aggregation of these lot of micro capacities across India. So we should just not look at it as either or thing. We can always have a sustainability, which is another. I would like to requote our Honorable Home Minister sir when he says that everybody should actually buy 5,000 worth clothing. But I'm just saying that's only one part of the story. If we actually package it better, rest of the world is able to sell anything which is on heritage with a good price line also, because people are willing to support something which supports environment, support something which uses resource more efficiently. So it is just a matter of time that the magic would be seen. It is happening. It's happening in case of handlooms also. You would know that India is actually even exporting to about 220 countries, supporting about 43 lakh artisans there. So and that is where government needs to be there, because these are all micro enterprises. So we need to help facilitate training, we need to help facilitate credit flow, we need to help develop an access to market, and enable them to use maybe technology in a way that those goods can reach a wider audience. And I'm sure this new generation, because I have a lot of faith in the way new generation looks at resource consumption. So whatever people may say, our time people were better, I always believe this generation has an amazing capacity to look into future. And if we position ourselves imaginatively with designs which support their sensibilities, there is nothing stopping Khadi from taking the leadership position in the whole spectrum of textiles, because I believe textiles is a very beautiful world. So let us not get into either or. Let us just look at how do we complement, supplement each other, while we look at creating a lot of employment across the board in textiles across the board, and wherein Khadi definitely can lead the way for the rest of the ecosystem.
So, what is the awareness campaign you are doing for from the KVIC for the
See, a
Khadi?
lot of these very regular activities are happening. We have about 86 offices all over India. We also work with all the Khadi village industry boards in the states. We work with the director industries. So a lot of particularly around this year, since we came, we had a Seva Pav starting from Vishwakarma Divas, that is 17 September, up to end of October. Similarly, again, December last to January 26 also we'll be having. We are looking at also developing, you would be glad to know that even CBSE has actually a course for 7th standard onwards. So we are looking at whether we can leverage better student connect, so that they know about this world and the potentialities in this world, like all other, I would say, low energy consumption economic goods which are being produced in India.
Okay. How the KVIC ensures the fair wages and sustainable livelihood to the artisans?
See, KVIC has been able to see, KVIC supports the Khadi institutions largely in two major verticals. One is by giving them subsidy, margin money subsidy. Second is giving them interest subvention. Now, in margin money subsidy, we have a component of wage compensation, wherein per hank the prices have been increased by 200% from 7.5 per hank to 15 rupees, which kind of matches with most of the other enterprises. So if a person is doing about 20 hanks a day, one would be definitely getting about, if you say 15, about 300 plus as wages. Not that it is enough, but we are trying to increase it. We are trying to supplement it with increasing the productivity of charkha through a lot of our science and technology interventions, with the support of IIT Kharagpur, IIT Delhi, and other institutions, NID, MGIRI. And in that case, one would be able to hopefully generate more hank, which is the qualitatively differentiating parameter for Khadi. And at the same time, since if people can do the same work in less hours, so it will reduce drudgery. We are looking at some models where it will be ergonomically suitable for women of differential age group also, largely because 80% of them are women. So all those efforts are on to increase, I would say, value, one in money terms, two in terms of the quality when they are involved in this activity, three that this can be done as a primary activity or even secondary activity as an additional income generation across various, I would say, groups who are on the margins of society right now.
Okay. So, what is the technology being adapted as being a khadi is always a handcrafted, but still how the technology and the handcrafted
Oh,
work together?
that's a contradiction, and that's
And
why, unfortunately, though on
yeah,
one side, solar charkhas have been made, but technically they do not qualify for a khadi definition. So what we are trying to do is increase the spindleage, wherein still it would be a human labor helping increase the number of fangs one can produce in the same time. So that is one part which is being done. That means largely mechanics is being involved here, not so much of, I would say, we can't choose anything
hmm,
which has a power component to it.
hmm,
So and that's the USP. So I do believe that you would be knowing about Pondoru Khadi. We just got a geographical indication for Pondoru Khadi, which
hmm,
is a very, very niche way of doing khadi only on amber charkha. And we hope that it should help give better earnings to the farmer who is doing the particular kind of cotton, which is used for doing the Pondoru cotton products. And this is the way I think the world is looked at, that everything which is handmade, handcrafted, should be sustained with much, much more dedicated traceability and marketing support, projection. Honorable Prime Minister Sir always actually patronizes quite a few of our products as gifts across, whether it is our products or handlooms or heritage products. So we do believe that once we keep promoting it, creating awareness among those who matter, and particularly the youth, this is going to be the game changer for total khadi value chain.
hmm. So, what is the strategies to attract the more fashion designers and the artisan to this khadi ecosystem?
See, there is no strategy. I just believe that they themselves know, most of them know that this is kind of a jewel in the crown.
Hmm,
So I wouldn't say that there is a major strategy. Rather, I would rather say that we need to just enable our systems in a way that most of them can take, there are procedural thing in terms of defining what is a khadi institution, who can use khadi mark. There are certain regulations which are required. There are certain IPR protections which are required because it should not be misused by others. Nobody else should be able to masquerade as khadi. So one has to do a blend there, wherein lot of interactions we have. We, as a strategy in terms of designing and bringing in lot of new people in, the Khadi Village Industries started something called Center of Excellence Khadi with NIFT Delhi, which has 7 spokes all over India. We would try to expand that in most of the other centers also. At our end, we have just launched something called Navyug Khadi. The idea is it's the new epoch. It is the new era wherein, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Sir, Khadi would not just remain as our pride from the past, but will be the leader for the future.
right. So now it's a different. It's a your funny or the memorable incidents you in the KVIC journey. Maybe it's a
Yet to
short
have
journey.
any, yet to have any, but yeah, there was something very interesting. Whenever I used to ask people what is khadi, people have very superficial understanding. Oh, khadi means khaddar. I said, what do you mean? Even silk is khadi. Okay, yeah. Okay, then suddenly they realize, no, no, it's not just, it's not just khaddar. It's not just those plain Jane thing. Even those very, very smart looking dresses come from khadi, or there are very good designers who use khadi. And I saw one of them, Vaishali Sandugle's show at Asiatic, where she has been able to do a lot of men's wear with such amazing weave from Khadi. So one should just realize the distinguishing feature is doing the thread yourself and then doing it on the loom, and then ensure by processing that the fabric stability remains. And that particular show showed that the fabric remains stable even under sea. So there is already a lot of excitement about Khadi, and I'm sure that I am just part of the journey. It's not that one is going to say that I have done that. It's just that one feels very excited and one would like to keep inciting the young brains, inciting the young mind to enable branding in a way that we actually get the value which is already intrinsic in the Khadi way of producing the textiles, Khadi way village industries in terms of the handmade products. So one just feels thankful to Government of India that I have been given this charge to be part of this journey.
Great. So, what is the most interesting and the new innovation in Khadi, where the people attract that we should wear Khadi? What is that one punch that should be there?
There is no one punch, but one thing which I feel for India we should do, and we are also doing in a small way as of now, hopefully we will be able to escalate it, is that India has traditionally been home to very good quality cotton and differential staple length. Now, if that is the thing, that one can do something like using the colored cotton for doing shirts. If you use colored cotton, which is done in North Karnataka, you don't use dyes. So you can imagine the kind of excitement it can generate, that it is almost not only low energy, but it is almost nil chemical stuffs. Now, similarly, Kasturi cotton has been done. We have done certain products with Kasturi cotton through Khadi process. So we are looking at whether Kasturi cotton Khadi can represent, जो हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं भारतीयता, it should represent the Indianness to the rest of the world. Then obviously I feel sari is making a very very big comeback, because I feel people are looking back to our own heritage. They are feeling proud in being a part of such beautiful culture that is what we call our Bharat. तो उसमें खादी से ज़्यादा अच्छा आपको फ्रेमवर्क नहीं मिलेगा जिसमें आप अपने आप को और अपने डिज़ाइंस के साथ ट्रेडिशन के साथ, एज दे से, न्यू मार्केट लुक्स फॉर व्हाट इज़ द स्टोरी बिहाइंड इट. So we don't really have to make a story. We have to actually unravel the story. Story is there. We have to just package it better. So I look forward that we just feel excited about the category. We ensure that our artisans get compensated. We ensure that more people get attracted. We try to do innovation so that new people also come in, and they should look at how do we weave what we call our cultural strengths into what we wear, the way they say that I wear my culture on my shoulder. So they should wear their culture with pride on their shoulder. So that is what one looks at. It may seem little romantic way of saying it, or maybe more literary way of saying it, but since Jigna, you have been part of
Mhm.
textiles,
Yeah.
I'm sure it is more of a passion to be there than anything else. And
Correct.
because when you realize that the user doesn't know the kind of effort, the kind of work which goes into when one is adorning something, people just take everything for granted. So if we bring that story out, I am sure people will start valuing more. And once out of 1.4 billion people, a significant set even keeps it as part of their total what we say trousseau or total cupboard, that would be enough to sustain ourselves. But I'm not saying, I don't feel that we should be satisfied with sustenance. We should become the world leaders, because the kind of differential kind of weaves, differential kind of work we can do in all the three major fibers plus lot of other natural fibers, duly blended whenever wherever required. Though Khadi Act doesn't allow too many variations, but we can at least bring the khadi element as the flavor for all others, as a specialty for all others, and that is the way forward. And for us as governance, why are we there? it creates huge amount of employment, because it can create, as of now, I think with KVIC support, with PMEGP, about 2 crore, 1.94 crore people are getting support. Now look at it, that if we increase it, at least the, if not the full day, the partial income one can generate, the way students can become part of it. Doing charkha itself is therapeutic. So we can bring in lot of, I would say, ancillary benefit to our next generation by taking them back to, as we say, back to nature, back to doing things in a way which bring peace, calm, concentration, and that enables them to perform better in, the hub of market also.
The last is any personal recommendation you have, any products or anything, why should people use Khadi? As
Okay.
a personal message, not as a
Okay, it's a personal
KVIC
message,
message.
but then
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's not also KVIC, because see, one is part of this journey. The
Yeah.
luckily, when I suggested the name of Navyuk Khadi, that
Yeah.
was also appreciated by our honorable chairman and honorable secretary sir, and they said yes, you go ahead with the. We actually created a created a framework for our women who have actually won the, we called it in Tassar, we did it, we
We
called it
called it
as
as
Women 11. So I'll share the clip with you so you can use in
yeah.
your showcase
So,
also.
yes.
I would just like to say what I wrote there. Blessings of parents. I have a little thing with words. खादी खादी की जो कहानी है वो शायद सबसे पुरानी है. खादी खादी की जो कहानी है वो शायद सबसे पुरानी है. इसमें दादी की निशानी है. हाथ कती हाथ बुनी सूती रेशमी साड़ी तो लगे माँ सी सुहानी है. और और वो मलमल तो जैसे एक कविता नानी की जुबानी है. अब हमें ये अनूठी धरोहर सहेज सवार बिटिया को पहनानी है और अनोखी पश्मीना की शान अपनी नतनी पर सजानी है. Why I wanted to say this, it's not past, it is continuing and it will lead the future. खादी की कहानी है वो शायद सबसे पुरानी है. अब हमें ये अनूठी धरोहर सहेज सवार बिटिया को पहनानी है और अनोखी पश्मीना की शान अपनी नतनी पर सजानी है. नतनी इज ग्रैंड डॉटर. मेरी तुम्हारी हमारी खादी, नवयुग खादी, नए सिरे से दुनिया को अपनानी है. चाहे खादी की जो कहानी है वो शायद सबसे पुरानी है. इसकी हर एक झलक की अपनी ही रवानी है. इसीलिए मेरी तुम्हारी हमारी खादी, नवयुग खादी, नए सिरे से दुनिया को अपनानी है. नए सिरे से दुनिया को अपनानी. धन्यवाद.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for it.
I must thank all of you, because this very fact that a very frontline textile reporter wishes to do a long-term story on Khadi itself is symptomatic that it's not just out of the respect, but it is something which has to ignite the imagination of this generation. So that, I feel that once the media starts looking at it as the way forward, that's going to be one of our strong, I would say, strategic elements. I must use it as a strategic elements to bring back, or rather bring back the magic, or rather open up eyes of people to the magic of Khadi. So thank you, Jigna, for coming and allowing me to articulate something which I would say just in 5 months I am still learning. So I may be able to add more once we are able to do more. But thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to be being with us, and always be with us. We are trying to do a lot of work on the machinery support for the people. So hopefully we would be there soon. Thank you.